Good afternoon and welcome to Luis Enrique's press conference ahead of tomorrow's league match at the Vicente Calderón against Atletico Madrid.
Luis, bon dia. Míriam Nadal per Barça TV. M'agradaria que em fessis una valoració de la temporada de l'Atlètic de Madrid.
Could you talk about Atletico Madrid's season? So far they're playing for third place in the league. Do you think that they're not as good as they were last year? It's a tough question to start. To talk about a season of a team like Atletico Madrid. I can't really talk about their coach, but I can talk about the game tomorrow and what it means for us. The things that we're going to have to do to beat them, and that it's a great game for us because it's a chance to win a title that's difficult to achieve, and it's an outstanding opportunity for us. Of course, they have their own objectives, and they're playing for the third position. They have a 4-point cushion. It should be an open match, an interesting match. And there are 2 matches left, and everybody has a chance to play down the stretch here. You have a little bit of a cushion after last weekend's win. What's your objective? To maintain that cushion? It's not just my objective, it's that of the players as well. It's nice to know that if we slip up, we have a little bit of a margin there. The different thing about this weekend is that we can be the league champions, and that's an important motivation for us, and it's an opportunity that we are in a position to take advantage of.
Estan en disposició de guanyar els 3 títols. A vostè n'hi ha algun d'aquests 3 que li faci especial il·lusió?
You can win 3 titles. Is there one of them that's more special for you than any of the others? No.
Hola Luis, Joan Tejedor para la cadena SER. Quería saber cómo está Luis Suárez, que ha estado unos días sin entrenar con todo.
About Luis Suárez, we know that he's had some physical problems the last couple of days, and heading into the match at the Calderón tomorrow, are there any other players that you think you like to rest in order to have them in better condition for the 2 finals that lie ahead? That's something that we'll discuss later and tomorrow to see whether Luis is going to be able to play for us tomorrow, and the same thing with any of the others. Tomorrow, essentially, is a final match. We can win the league title, and it's sufficiently important for us to consider what can we do. But first, I have to look at all the players. This is the 4th match that you're going to have with Atletico Madrid this season. You've won the first 3. Is there something you can look to with the previous matches, or are they not related? If we want to look at the things that happened in the other matches, we played 3 excellent matches against them, but we know that they're very good. They're tough to play, especially on their grounds. And it's going to be difficult for us to get the win. But that's what we expect. If we remember last season, they won the league at Camp Nou in the last game of the season. And now we have a chance to win the title, and it will be at the on the field of the current champion. Speaking about champions, Atletico Madrid, talking about vengeance, are you especially motivated by the fact that they won the league at Camp Nou last year and the possibility of coming back to win again there at Calderón? No, I haven't seen any type of idea of revenge among our players. Last year was one season, this year's a completely different season. But no, this is the way the calendar is set. The second to last match has to be played there. And that's what we have to do if we want to win the championship. Up until now, when Barca are fully focused with intensity and pressure, you're unstoppable. There's no team that has been able to stop you. But when Barca is a little lower in intensity, a little more predictable, there were teams that were able to do things against you. How do you get the team to be focused for all 90 minutes? Well, when the objective is one that's difficult to reach, like the match we're going to play tomorrow at the Calderón, if we don't have the necessary intensity and we aren't on, it's very difficult to win a league match. And especially given what both teams are playing for. The same thing when we come up against the final matches. Maybe it's a little easier at the end of the season because the players can see the prize ahead of them. It might motivate a little bit more, but other than that, it's all pretty normal. You can't always be in top form throughout the entire season. Sometimes you are and sometimes you aren't. That's logical for me. But we know that we need to finish off the season with a maximum intensity in order to achieve the objectives that we set for us. After tomorrow, you'll have 3 games with no match in the middle of the week, a little bit more rest. Do you have a specific training plan heading into the last league match, the Spanish Cup and the Champions League final, so that your players can arrive with maximum intensity? We'll think about that after we see what happens tomorrow. In function of what happens this weekend, if we have to play for the title next weekend or not. It'll depend on whether we prepare one way or the other. And then regarding full weeks off, we're not accustomed to that, but it'll probably be good for us so that we can recover from injuries, we can analyze our rivals a little bit more, and create some training sessions that can help us better in those matches. The 2 finalists in the Champions League both had to play the second leg away. Do you think playing home or away affects anything? It depends. If you have to play the first match at home, then it's better for you at home. But if you have to play the first one away, well, then it's better to play it away. It depends on what happens in the rest of the tournament. You look, Juve finished second in their group, but then they were able to come all the way through the tournament and beat a team that finished first in their group. At the end, the most important thing is that the teams are coming into the last few games in good form, and that you have to play well in both games, not just one. One game to win the league, one game to win the cup, one game to win the Champions League. What feelings are there running through the dressing room right now? It's the same way it's been for the last 3 or 6 months. The only thing that's different for sure is that looking around us, we have quite a bit of positive of optimism. We know that We know the difficulties confronting us in each of these games coming up, but we also know that we haven't won anything yet. But tomorrow we can start to achieve the objectives, and we're going to try and play a good match tomorrow and be focused and try to come away with our first title. We saw Juan Carlos Unzué giving a lot of instructions to the players in the training session. What can you say about his contribution to this Barca team? I have been surrounded by fantastic collaborators: Juan Carlos Unzué, Robert Moreno, Joaquin Valdez, Joan Barbara, and others, and plenty of people that help us. And everybody, each one has their own role, and when the work is spread around, more things we're going to be able to accomplish. And that's the idea that I've brought since I started coaching here. It's really important for me and my group, having the same ideas that I have. Everybody brings their own ideas.
Una imagen publicada por el propio club del presidente Bartomeu bajando al vestuario esta mañana.
We've seen an image of the President Bartomeu going down to the Barca dressing room this morning. Can you talk about not exactly what he said, but his message? Well, the president has come down several times this season when he feels like he needs to do it, with clear support for the team in the home stretch of the season, and after having done a lot of good work, and we're at the point of being able to achieve great things. At the end of what's shaping up to be a great season, do you think that this group in your first season could become historic? We know that we can do something that's only been done once in the history of the club. For some players, they can repeat it, but it's very difficult to get here to this point, because you have to play well all season. And especially at the final stretch of the season, it's very difficult to get all three titles. But yeah, as the players are realists and they're optimistic. You know, one thing is our attitude, and the other thing is actually winning the three titles. Realizing that you're just 90 minutes away from winning each of the three titles, have you earned the right to decide your own future? I always decide my future, whether I win titles or not. It's based on what I think, but it's something that I will think about at the end of the season. I'm not in any rush. There are no obligations.
Mister Gemma Soler, ESPN. Te preguntaban ahora por si habrá un plan físico específico.
I want to ask you if there's any
Yo te quería preguntar por
special,
si hay alguna rutina que cambie
if there's any,
en el plano
if there'll be any changes to the routine of the players, physical or psychological, before playing these finals, these championship matches. Well, when we get to these finals, it's because we've done work beforehand that got us here. We think that we don't think that we need to change a lot of things. We got here doing certain things. If we just keep doing the same thing that got us here, we just have to reinforce, improve some of the things that we need to improve, and a little bit more. There isn't anything that's specifically key. We're relaxed and we have confidence. Don't you think that the members of the club deserve to know what the future of the coach is like when the coach is about to win the treble? What they deserve, the members, is that the team wins the maximum number of titles possible. Once the season's done, we'll talk about what's going to happen next year.
las notas de qué ha hecho el equipo, tanto los jugadores como el cuerpo técnico, sería al final de temporada y todavía eso no ha llegado.
Giving grades and marks to what the players and the coaching staff do this season is something that we have to wait until the end of the season. As of right now, we haven't won or lost any titles. We're going to have to see what the team achieves at the end of the season. This year, Real Madrid aren't going to win anything. But last year, Barca didn't win anything. Do you think that both teams can classify last year and this year as failures based on what they've done? Are you saying that we should add together last year's Barca team and this year's Real Madrid team? Well, but last year I wasn't Barca's coach. I was with another team. I was a Barca fan, but I wasn't coaching here, so I don't really know what went on, and I can't really talk about that. I can talk about last year, the team that I was coaching, and now I can talk about the team that I'm coaching now. But I'll see. And talk about our opponents and who our possible opponents are throughout the season. We've seen what's been going on, what's happened throughout the season, and we know that there's a lot of criticism when a big team doesn't win. It's always like that in football. It doesn't surprise anybody.
Sí, yo soy de la Sexta. Al hilo de lo que estás diciendo, Luis Enrique, se habla mucho de la temporada del Real Madrid después de haber quedado eliminado de la Champions.
There's a lot of talk about Real Madrid and the future of their coach and Simeone and the coaches at the end of the season. Do you think that Real Madrid's coach Ancelotti should continue? Do you have any opinion about that? No, I don't have any opinion about that. Tomorrow morning, 9:45 in the morning, the team will leave the Ciutat Esportiva to head to Madrid for tomorrow's match. Have a nice afternoon. Stay tuned on fcbarcelona.com for all the highlights and more of Luis Enrique's press conference.